Hey guys, I hope you're doing fine. Today I would like to show you a simple watercolor your urban sketching exercise. So it's suited for beginners because the perspective is relatively easy. It's a bridge in Italy, in Venice, and so the bridge is facing us, which makes it a lot easier to draw, of course. And the buildings on each side are not seen in their entire shape, so that's why even if you make like a small error in perspective, that's not really a big issue. So in this sketch, what I find is very nice is this curved shape of the stairs and the railing heading to the bridge, and so I will make my sketch using a pen ink, and yeah, so I will draw with a little bit more detail the actual bridge and the stones of the arch, but also the railing. And then with a lot less detail I will draw the buildings on each side and their windows. The only thing I will be paying attention to is this one opening that is very close to us, so I will try to draw a little bit more detail on the arch of this opening, as it's really close to the person watching. There will be also a little bit of vegetation on this scene, so you can see I'm now drawing a little window and there are some plants behind. So I will be suggesting this, and also behind the bridge there is a tree, but so I will see some of its vegetation and will try to suggest it. But really what is nice about this scene is not so much the perspective or the urban drawing, it's more the watercolor, and you will see it later on as I start to do the watercolor part. Actually the buildings are yellow and red. These are the colors of most of the buildings in Venice, and so their reflection in the channel is very colorful as well, and the shadows are quite deep. So this is something I enjoy and I will try to represent in my painting. So now I'm almost done with my hand drawing, and we'll be able to continue with the actual painting. I will also try to suggest a few bricks just to add some more detail, but you do not really need to draw them all. Just drawing a few of them on each surface will help realize that this is a brick building. And also the railing, it's made of stone, so obviously it's not one big stone, there are a few of them, and I just suggest draw the joining lines, which are very interesting. So I will start my watercolor painting now, and I will start with the water. So first I will have this red wash. I'm working with quite a wet brush, and this is a little bit of a annoying because the paper I am painting on is it tends to draw very fast, and it makes those stains. So I need to find the right balance between working with a wet brush so that it's wet on wet painting in the water, and well, not having any stains. So that's why I'm trying to not to wet too much the paper, but it's important to join the colors together so that the pigment can go from the red to the yellow, and then from the yellow to the red. And so I have these dark shadows that go vertical from under the bridge down to the water, and these are very nice, and I will try to represent them right away, because as they go into the water it's important that they can mix up with the other colors. So I need to do this quite fast before the rest of the painting in the water is dried, because once it's dried the edges will not be soft, and so there will not be this effect of water reflection. I will use different shades as well of gray. I tend to mix my own colors, so once I have managed to do some sort of black, I can add more red or more blue to have different shades of shadows. I'm painting with quite saturated and dark color when we get closer to the railings of the stairs, because this is what it's the closest to us, and so I will try to have a nice little contrast between the white stone and the dark shadows. And so now I'm painting the building above, and it's actually behind the bridge, and it is this building that reflects into the water. So that's why I'm using a similar shade of red, and I will carry on with my shadows. All right, now I'm adding a little bit of green, as you can see, and this green color I'm adding it only on the edges of the building. It's actually some sort of mold that has built up on the edge of the building where the water touches it, and so I tried to do this and wet a little bit the white area above so that it can have a soft edge as well, and then I will give a nice brick color to the wall behind the stairs and the bridge itself, because it's a brick bridge. It's important to let those white areas of the stone ornaments on the bridge, so because actually the stone is quite bright. And now I will paint the closest building, the one with the arch, with a very soft wash, quite clear, very watery, and then something a lot darker on the inside of the arch, which would give a nice volume. But I need to pay attention here not to touch the wet paint of the facade, because the two will mix up and then the edge wouldn't be nice and clear. So as we go down, there's a little bit more light that gets into the building, so the shade will not be this dark, and I will use the same shade to paint the shadows on the stairs. As the stairs are in stone, they are quite light, and so their shadow will be lighter as well. And these are this is a shadow that has been made by a tree on the front, but we do not see the tree. And then the shadow of the railing. And we're almost there. Now I will need to dry my painting. Just after I add a little bit of detail suggesting the bricks on the wall, I will need to let it dry. All right, now that my paint is completely dry, I will be able to add the final details, which are simply the leaves and vegetation and some darker shades on the shadows. So I will try to paint this window, but I will try to leave some white areas to suggest this metal fence that's in the front. I could have used a wax as well, just so that the watercolor doesn't stick on top of the wax, but I forgot to do that, so that's why I need to do it manually. And then I will add some darker shades under the bridge as well, which will define better the volumes. I think it's getting along pretty nicely. And also the railing, as you see, I will start with a very thin dark shadow, and then I will make it a little bit thicker as I come closer to the person watching. And this will give the illusion of volume and perspective as well. Okay, and now it's time to draw the leaves of the vegetation. And so to do this, I will simply use different shades of green and gray. I decided to start with the darker shades and work my way through to the lighters. Now, many times you would do the opposite. You will start with the lighter color and then add the darker shades later on, but this time I just decided to go the other way around. So this is my middle shade of gray and green, and then the lightest will come at the end. So I hope you like this bridge, this nice urban painting in Venice in Italy. So again, it's just a ink pen drawing with some watercolor on the top. It's quite easy, and well, you can just take a photograph of whatever bridge you have nearby your place or a building and try to do your own. It's really fun and it doesn't take very long. I did not speed up this video, so it only took me like 15 minutes to complete this drawing. Thanks for watching, and do not hesitate to subscribe to see more videos like this one.